Hi, everybody. Matt here from Matt Likes Comics, and I hope you're all having a wonderful day. I know I am. Tonight, we have a special treat for those that have never met him before. We have Alan, the comic collector geek, as our special guest. And tonight, I had planned to show off some Fantastic Four books from the John Byrne run, and I was just I invited Alan on today to talk about his Kickstarter. He's got 5 days left,
5 days left.
and I noticed that they are getting very close to finishing. They just need that last little push. And I want to point out as well, we are at 112 subscribers. Thank you very much to everybody who's subscribed so far. We are just over half of getting to that 222.
Technically one above the halfway mark.
Yeah, but it's still over. And of course, I'm just going to make myself big for a second here,
Sure.
Alan. Okay. I have this as our giveaway. Once we get to 222, it's a horror fantasy book. I don't know much about it. I just know that I really like the cover, and I thought that my fans would. And of course, Alan. Okay, I'm going to bring him back on to the screen here, and
Yep.
Okay, Alan has very kindly offered to donate a T-shirt, which will, I have one right here. And I like
it'll be a white one.
Yeah, it'll be one of the white ones, and it'll probably have the small logo.
Yeah, small logo.
But this is what the logo will look like when it's not a little crumpled. And Alan is graciously going to donate a T-shirt to the winner as well. And if you have subscribed to his Kickstarter, I have a Silver Age comic sitting over there that's got your name on it as well. It has, as of today, a $38 value. Therefore, it flips and flops between $35 and $40, but it stays there. And anyway, and I hope anybody there. Let's see who's showed up so far. Well, let's see. We have the Great Legend. Hi, Legend. How are you? Tonight, if you have any questions or any comments, feel free, please, to put them in the chat. Alan, tell us a little bit about your Kickstarter while we got you online.
So basically it's a Kickstarter for anyone that likes Golden Age characters. And if you're not familiar with Golden Age characters, well, this is the comic to introduce them. It's basically gives the origin stories of like 14 different female Golden Age characters that I call vixens. They are characters that are fun. Like they have a tendency of, whenever they want to go out and fight crime, they have a tendency of getting into lingerie first, and then going.
I know that I fight better in lingerie. So
that's the way it works. Yeah. I can't fight crime without my thong. So so it's like they're fun characters. They were popular in the Golden Age. They sort of faded over time. I'm trying to revive them. They're all public domain characters. And what I've done is I have 2 pages devoted to each character, 1 page where you get a synopsis of the character, and 1 page where you get a sexy pinup. So it's a bit of a
can't go wrong with that.
Yeah, bikini special meets origin.
Ergo, why I actually chose I will admit my choice of book was influenced slightly by the Kickstarter.
Sure.
But as I said, there seems to be a big fan base still towards the good girl art. It's just a different type of good girl art. It's not the suggestive type as much necessarily as it used to be. But at the same time, the artists are just as good as they were in the Golden Age, if not slightly better, in the sense that they have better, techniques and equipment have changed over the years, obviously. Mm-hmm. But the fact is it's still lines on paper, and that's what we love the best. Mm-hmm. Would you happen to have brought any books or character art that you want to show? I'll go ahead and make you big if you like.
I can show stuff. I can show some of the Kickstarter. Happy. Yeah, so I'll show the Kickstarter pictures, and then I got some books handy as well. Great. So we got some Rula from George Weber.
Yes, Rula is one of your friend Steven's favorites, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, yeah, she's quite popular. And then we got Bullet Girl. This is the one that I was kind of introducing to Steven and getting him to like. Um, and then we got Moon Girl by Dean
I
Yeager.
like Moon Girl more and more when I see that picture. The more I like her.
Yeah, it's pretty cute. And then we got Black Cat.
Mhm. Very
Um,
nice.
And we got some Miss Mask. Some whole bunch of action going on. This one's quite complicated picture.
Now, Miss Mask, that one I'm not as familiar with as some of the other characters. What company was she with?
Um, so she was with Nador.
Okay, and
Um,
was that one of those package companies, or was that a?
so a lot of the covers were done by Alex Schomburg. So yeah, it would have been like I forgot who did the packaging for it. Probably Iger House or one of those ones.
Awesome,
Yeah, and then we got Senorita Rio.
cool.
Yeah, and then Miss Fury.
That's another one who this character is very should be more well known than she is. She was pretty big in the early golden age, if I remember
Yeah,
correctly.
so she was actually the first female superhero, actually
Yes.
with costume and superpowers. Now there was another female character that was actually earlier that was also had superpowers, but she didn't have a costume. So Miss
Mm,
Fury is actually the first female superhero with powers before
awesome.
Wonder Woman. So yeah, and this one is Terra, the space pirate.
Yeah, this is another one of my favorite ones. I think I missed out on getting the cover, but
Yeah.
it's not a huge deal. I mean, it's still fantastic. I'm
Yeah.
glad to see them.
And then we got Bill Moss did Judy of the Jungle. Another one that Alex Schomburg would like.
Mm.
Actually, the last two Alex Schomburg did a lot of covers for. And I don't know. I'm just curious. What in this box next to me? Okay, I got. Oh my goodness! I know you'll like this book. I just
Oh,
randomly picked this book, so you'll randomly like it. So one second.
okay.
Do you know this one?
Yes. First first appearance of Son of Satan
It was
on
just
his own.
randomly next to me. Seriously.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So
I'm a big
it's not super
Son of
high
Satan
grade.
fan. For those that don't know out there, yeah. Sorry, trying to get us to. There we go. Okay,
There we go.
that is a beautiful book.
The Marvel Spotlight on Son of Satan. Story continued from Ghost Rider #2, Origin of Son of Satan. I think they were.
Yes, Ghost Rider 2 is actually on sale right now at my local comic shop, but I don't
Okay.
have the $400 that he's charging
Oh
for
wow!
it.
It's still that much. Wow.
It is still that much, and actually, I would get a discount on it because of
Was
the.
it high grade or something or
It's a Canadian, not a Canadian
price
price.
variant?
No, it can't be. It's too early. There was a reason why this book. It might be a Mark Jewelers. I don't know.
Oh, okay. It's pretty expensive. I think
No.
like when I bought my copy, I have a raw copy of it. I didn't pay that much. I think it was like under $100 range. I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure.
I'm just I'm in that. Can I get it or not? But again, it's the first full appearance as opposed to the it's the
Yeah.
number 2, not the number 1.
Yeah. Yeah, I think in Ghost Rider 2 it's just like his hand or something that you see or something. It's not
Yeah, it's very
minor first
it's
appearance.
very minor first appearance, and the thing is, Ghost Rider 1, we all know, everybody knows that's an expensive book. That's, in some cases it can be 4 figures, and
Mhm.
which is kind of too bad because honestly, it's not technically the first appearance of Ghost Rider. It's not even like his 5th appearance. Like he made
Yeah.
5 or 7 appearances in the other Marvel
Well,
book.
it's his first title. That's what you're going.
Yeah, and that's all. I do get that. That's always a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, like, yeah, and I suppose it's a big deal because it was so soon after he was introduced, as opposed to, say, a Supergirl, whose Supergirl #1 came out in 1972, as opposed to
Yeah, way after.
that's 15 years almost after she was first in Action Comics.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, actually, I still go after those kind of books where you get the first Supergirl or first whatever character it is where they get
Yeah,
their own title. I always think that's cool to have their title book.
yeah,
So
I agree. I agree. Um, it is a big deal in some cases to find these kind of things, and the best part about being a comic fan is always the search.
mhm.
Well, maybe second, because I do enjoy the reading of the books is supposed to be the real reason. I mean, but I know that some people are just cover buyers and investors, and whatever way out there, crowd there, whatever way you do things, it's fine. It's your own thing. Go nuts,
Yeah,
as I've said before.
I'm one of those people that might not have heard of the character until like some movie comes out, and then I
Right.
go back and then I like to have that kind of connection to the character where I get their first appearance in comics.
I would say though that like even a guy like a Roy Thomas who's been in comics, who
Hmm.
knew comics and all that stuff, I think he could still be surprised once in a while by a new character,
Oh yeah.
because like there's just so many. Like I mean, there are literally thousands of characters,
Oh yeah. Of course. Yeah.
and I mean like, and some of them like literally, you get like one panel. I mean, I don't know how many. Just I'll use the Legion as an example. I don't know
Mhm.
how many people were trying out for the Legion that you never see again.
Yeah. They get
They're
one
there for one
comic
or
and
two
that's it.
panels, and that's
Yeah.
it,
Yeah.
and they're gone. And then
Or- Those
and
ones
then you
actually are kind of good spec in a way because with James Gunn being part of DC.
well, yeah,
He
and
loves
then
he loves those
exactly.
a character that only has one random appearance.
Well, it was hilarious because I'll use Arm Fall Off Boy as an
Yeah,
example. He was
yeah,
in
that's a
one
good
shot.
character.
He was in one. It was in on one page in a Legion book, trying out for the Legion of Superheroes,
Hmm.
and he became a joke forever because people, like it's one
I
of those
have
things.
that book that he made his
Yes,
first appearance just because
I
it's
had it
such
at
a
one point.
quirky character. Yeah.
Mhm. Well, he makes an appearance again in I think it was 2 years ago. They had a Jimmy Olsen maxi series of 12 issues.
Okay.
They did a Jimmy Olsen and a Lois Lane, and this was during the period when Superman was only in Action Comics because they were trying out the Jonathan Kent Superman book,
Hmm.
and they brought Arm Fallout Boy back
Okay.
as a really big joke in the Jimmy Olsen book because they showed a family photo of Fall Off Boy's family with foot fall off girl and head fall off dad and
Wow.
shoulder fall off mom. Like they really made fun of it, and the thing is, Arm Fall Off Boy himself actually was in half the story. And then,
Hmm.
sure enough, what happens? They cast him in the Suicide Squad movie.
Yeah, I mean, I think sometimes what they'll do is they'll kind of foreshadow characters that they plan to use by
Yeah,
having some comics get released with that character and say, "Oh, by the way, there is this character," you know.
yeah.
But Arm Fall Out Boy, he's very James Gunn kind of character to
He
choose.
he really is.
Um, I don't know how you could make him overpowered. It'd be really hard.
Well, I mean, like the only way he could be really overpowered is if he like instantaneously grew the arm, like kind of out it comes, instead
But
of being this
there,
little thing that comes out and then
there's actually
grows
an
out.
anime like that. There's an
Yeah,
anime that the guy like he regenerates like faster than Wolverine. He like you
yeah,
can literally he literally can take his fingers and cut them off, and then shoot them at people like bullets.
yeah.
And then he can grow them back so quickly that there's actually propulsion that he can kind of like make himself fly around by like
Wasn't there a Mr. Marvel or some sort of character where like his body, his legs and arms could come off and he could use them to fight, like send them off to fight different people?
well that's the arm fall off boy. That's the whole concept
Well, I
behind
think there
this.
was another character. I think there was another character in the Herbie era. I'm not sure if it was Charlton or not necessarily, or ACG, because I know it was an ACG. But
I think I know. Yeah, I think you might be right. I'm just trying to think of what the character is.
if anybody's watching out there knows who
Actually,
we're talking about, please
I
throw it
think
in the
you're right. I
chat.
think it's like
It's like a
it's Charl-
Captain.
Charlton character, isn't it?
It's possible. I think it's a Charlton character too, and I think his name is
Charlton.
Marvel. I just don't know if
Yeah, I think his name's Marvel. Like, is it Marvel Boy and not Marvel Boy, but not Captain Marvel, but
certainly not Captain Marvel, but maybe Mr. Marvel or
Mr. Marvel. Um, I actually might have that handy. I bought like a set of those kind of characters. Like, I
right?
think they were the Terrific Five or something weird like that, or some.
Yeah. You
Um,
say that, and I think of the Tick and the Civic Minded Five right away.
yeah. I'm just trying to
Yeah.
think. Um, yeah, I think I know the character actually.
Well, if you want to go take a look, I'll show off some
Yeah, you show some books, and
Fantastic
I'll
Four
find
books.
those ones.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, everybody. I decided to show off a few John Byrne Fantastic Fours today because I recently got a couple and to fill in the holes, and so I was cleaning them up, and I thought, well, you know what? I'm going to show them off. This one here is 241. I just bought this one. It came in my last order, and it was pretty nice. Here we have Fantastic Four 250. It's a really nice white cover. And we've got some guest stars. Yeah, no problem. We got some guest stars here. We've got Captain America. We've got The Thing. We've got all this other stuff going on. And let's see here. We have Fantastic 254. Another. I really like the stark contrast here with the black and the reds, followed by the big nice colored action shot in the middle of all of the Fantastic Four guys fighting the guys in the purple suits. Here, Reed Richards apparently is dead again on the cover of 255. I swear Reed is dead every second issue.
Well, you got to kill the main characters off.
Yeah. Now, here's one I really like. This is, of course, a Byrne cover, but this is 259, and it's Dr. Doom on the cover. And they're calling it Doomsday. This was a full decade before, this is, I believe, is a 1983 book. It's a full decade before the other Doomsday, the one that did some real damage. Now, this one actually has a little bit of significance to me. This is 260, and this was the first time I ever purchased a Fantastic Four book back when I was a kid. I got this off the rack. This isn't the same copy, obviously, because this is a direct edition, but it's still, and it really caught me because in this particular one, you've got the Doom mask, and it turned out, I believe it was a Doom bot. Seems to always be Doom bots whenever Doom gets destroyed. But Reed Richards goes missing again. And this time, what appealed about this particular book to me was that Invisible Woman's strength. She grabbed me right away. I just immediately became a fan.
Why what's her power? Like, I mean, I thought she didn't have, like, she has, like, force fields and
yes, it's just it's the inner strength of the character and the stuff like that I liked. Like, she got all tough and defensive and got really, really angry when she realized Reed wasn't there, and she had to get and she took the leadership like that, and got Johnny and the Thing to do exactly what she wanted them to do. It was just a great book. Here's the next one, 261. And as you can see, it's The Search for Reed Richards. I bet you he was with Spock. And this is a particular one, and I think Alan would like this cover because Alan is a big fan of homage covers. This is the Fantastic Four 264, and it homages the first cover of
Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
Nice.
The biggest difference is that there's only two members of the Fantastic Four, and the dialogue on the cover says Johnny goes, "The Mole Man's monster, it's attacking again," and Ben is going, "Torch, wait, this time it's on our side." But it's a great cover. I mean, it homages a great book. And here we have another one I recently got, Fantastic Four 265. It is the first appearance of She-Hulk as a member of the Fantastic Four. Yeah, because this is when this is the issue where they disappear to go to the Secret Wars and then they come back. They were only gone. They were only actually missing from Earth for 3 days, but it was a lot longer for the characters who disappeared, obviously. But
I can't find the silly thing.
Oh,
now I'm going to be like annoyed by the fact that I can't find a certain book.
Yeah, I get that way sometimes.
Oh, I found something else that's useful, but oh well.
We're going to go off the Fantastic Four train for a little bit. I've got this Tales of the New Teen Titans 60. I just like the cover a lot. It is a great shot of the active members of the team at the time because Kid Flash had retired and Aqualad was back briefly and then left.
Starfire and
yeah, you've got Starfire and Donna Troy she's still Wonder Girl at this time. Cyborg, Nightwing in that funky 80s costume, Jericho, and the Changeling, he was still known as. Unfortunately, this was just soon after Tara passed away, and as I said, Kid Flash had retired.
He's called the Changeling, but when does he become back to Beast Boy?
He doesn't become Beast Boy again until well later, until later itinerations of the team. It's almost like he's Changeling for almost 10, 15 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Here we've got a G.I. Joe book that Duke is about to punch the crap out of somebody. As that's never happened before. If you read G.I. Joe, you know how Duke's temper can be.
Mm-hmm.
But I digress. Have you got anything there, Alan? I'll bring you back up.
I can grab some books.
All right.
Whatever's in this box, randomly boxed next to me.
Well, random is best. You know, I subscribe to the old live TV theory, and I love the fact that, you know, like you never know what's going to happen. It's one of the reasons why I like shows like the Soupy Sales show. So they went live.
Yeah. So I did a show today, actually, I guess, with where I showed Barbarella. And in the same box, I have just sort of random books that I mixed in. But one of the random books that I have is, these are all modern books. They're more modern-ish books, I should say. Is an Alex Schomburg, but I believe it's his last cover. Last cover in a comic, I should say. And it's from 1977. And it's an Invaders Annual #1.
Oh, I love the Invaders. That series was great.
This is an Alex Schomburg cover.
Yeah.
It has all the kind of the feels of Alex Schomburg too, because, you know, just so many things going on. No labeling though. But
yeah. Did Schomburg ever work on Marvel books?
Let me think. Well, he worked on the Invaders.
No, but okay. Let me.
He worked on Timely, right? He worked.
Yeah, on Timely. Okay, so he did work for Timely. So yes.
Yeah, so a lot of the great covers from like, you know, Marvel Mystery and like Captain America.
Okay, so he has drawn them before. Excellent. That's what I was going to come up to. Get to.
Yeah, he did some Namor ones. or well, name that he wasn't called name. He was called Submariner at the time, right? But
Yeah, when
Namor.
did he get the name Namor? Did he not get that till the Silver Age?
I think he was called Namor in the Golden Age, but everyone called him Submariner, right?
Yeah.
Namor, yeah, it's weird. I don't know. And this one, I'm not sure if you're familiar with this book. First appearance of Lady Black Hawk.
Yeah, I know the book. I've seen the cover before. I've just never
So,
read it.
you know, the funny thing is, I have never read it either. Actually, did I read this? I think I might have actually read this one. But normally I don't read them all. I found this list of the top 100 sexiest women in comics.
Right.
And it mentioned Lady Blackhawk. And I was like, oh, who the heck is Lady Blackhawk? So yeah.
Well,
I picked up.
3 or 4 years ago, that was listed as the second highest valued Blackhawk of the run.
Yeah. You know what's funny? I bought it at the peak. I bought it at the worst time. Totally worst time.
It's Blackhawk 1, but it's changed since. But at the time, it was Blackhawk 1,
And
then that one, and
133.
then the first DC issue.
Oh wow. So yeah, it's kind of funny. So another one that's kind of interesting this is Fighting Five, number 28. It's actually not like it's one of those ones where it's the first appearance of the Super Squad, but it's the first appearance of the Fighting Five. And
Right.
Again, they kind of label each of the characters.
That is pretty
It's like a
cool.
little labeling thing.
Right.
It was formerly, what was it? Space War.
Right.
So this is actually the first issue of Fighting Five, and it's their first appearance.
Very nice.
But Fighting Five is the comic that Peacemaker made his first appearance.
Yes, that's true. I actually had read that not too long ago. When the Peacemaker show came out, I started watching. I started researching Peacemaker a bit and seeing some of the books he was in, because I was curious, like, how big of a character was he? And it's very interesting how he had very, very small spurts, but he kept coming back for a while.
Yeah, so where is it? I thought I had it in the same box. Of course, it's not in the same box. Oh my goodness. Okay, but you know, the funny thing is, I got the first appearance of Peacemaker when the book was not really valuable. Like, it was a cheap book, and I got it in a reasonable grade actually. But then I was like, should I really get Peacemaker 1? It's really a reprint of the first appearance. And I was like, I'll just skip it. But then I was like kind of bothered because it kept on appearing on the hot list. And it was like, so after a while, I got sort of this FOMO effect of wanting to get the first Peacemaker. But then when I picked it up, it had become like kind of crazy priced. I could have picked it up for like $20. Then it became like a $200 book. So I picked up a really low grade, like a 2.5.
Still, it's still nice to have.
Yeah, a Peacemaker number 1. I think I paid like 100 or something. It was not.
You were talking to a man who really truly believes low grade is better than no grade. So I mean,
yeah. So what does it say? 1-page bio and photo of Pat Boyette. Deaths of this is like, again, I'm getting better actually, believe it or not. Nerve. But I cannot read that at all. Here, maybe you can read it. Can you read it?
What's it say?
One sec here. Am I going the right way? Wait, maybe this way?
1-page bio and photo of Pat Boyette.
Boyette, yeah.
Yep.
But then what does it say? What's this word? I can't read
hang on. What's it say at the bottom?
Yeah. Or can you see that?
Backup something fighter something backup story.
It looks like Nerve Rathnath in Fighting 5 backup story.
We have another visitor.
Oh, really? Cool.
Yeah, let me just get you unbig, and let's bring in Steven.
Oh, Steven, hey.
Lose the contacts, Alan. Lose the contacts.
No,
it says morgue bodies moldering, dead things right on
I'm
the
getting
label of
better.
the comic.
I'm like really like wanting to make these contacts work, because if they work, then I have bifocals. Then I can be like.
Well,
So
I
it's
think
just
that I think what you have here are contacts made by the optical firm of Rudy Mentry.
rudimentary, yeah.
Welcome to my stream, Stephen. How are you doing today?
Welcome to my stream. Won't you come on in?
So
Yes,
so you're
it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure in your inaugural,
That is
the ship
correct.
live
rolling
stream.
down the wave.
As I was explaining to Alan earlier, I'm going on holidays briefly next week, and I wanted to learn how to do this before my big one. So I wanted
so it's
to
good.
just
I
try
gotta
one
say.
out tonight and see what would happen. We've only got we've got 3 viewers now. Hi out there. If you're out there,
Wow.
please feel free to comment, say hi.
So
We're
we have almost as many viewers as people in the stream.
yes.
We
And that's
you know,
great. I personally think
Alan's
it's an
usual
honor.
count.
I
What?
think it's an honor and a privilege if anybody says, "Oh, hello, hang on
Yeah.
here. Hi, Zach. How are you?
Hey,
Thank
Zach.
you very much."
Big Zach, tell your family.
Yeah, get some more people watching.
Yeah, as I was saying at the beginning of the stream, I am now at 112 subscribers, so I'm just over half, literally by one, towards my towards my goal. It's slow but steady, and again, I'm very grateful for everybody out there that takes the time to spend some time with me in my contributions.
Yeah.
I see that
Just
you're
so you know,
probably at the
Stacy,
beach
let's see,
house, eh?
get her to look and throw rocks and stuff like that. She's good at that.
So by the way, how was the beaching housing?
It was a very, very easy drive down. Everybody went along. There weren't any
Accidents or anything?
huge campers going 15 miles an hour. Everybody was pretty much up to speed. There were no jackrabbits going by. We were talking about it, rabbiting by. The people that want to go 75 miles an hour. I saw one policeman about 10 miles from my house heading down towards here that popped somebody on the other side.
Mhm.
But on the other side, and I didn't see a single patrolman on my way down. I must have been, missing them, but it wouldn't have mattered because there was so much traffic moving along, and there was no room for anyone to try to jackrabbit or anything like that. But it went really well. It was a very, very pleasant drive, actually. And the first thing I did when I got down here is I took out all of my American flags and put them out front. I watered the plants.
Hi,
Washed
Beckerman.
Hello, Mr. Beckerman. Washed the windows, and now I was just kicking back. And then I saw that Matt had his first, and I had to come and say hi.
That's cool. So yeah,
Well,
yeah,
we came on. We talked about Alan's Kickstarter, and
Is that thing still going?
Maybe he knows. Maybe he
still
knows the
going.
name.
Still going. What?
Say again, Matt.
Maybe Steven knows the name of the guy we were trying to remember. We were
Oh,
trying
yeah.
to remember a character,
He's like all chopped up. I remember he's all chopped up.
and like his arms and legs can
Terrific,
fly
Mr.
off
Terrific or
and go
something?
fight, and he can bring them back.
Or Marvel something?
Was it Captain Marvel, the ones where he goes disconnect or click?
Yes, it was a Captain Marvel. Yes,
It was Captain Marvel. I
was
knew
a
that there
Captain
was this
Marvel.
weird thing where
But
Captain Marvel was named that
different.
reused.
It's the Archie Captain Marvel. Where he goes,
Archie.
He goes like this, and then his arms break apart, and he goes and punches people.
Yes,
A triumph. Just a second. Someone is calling.
okay. I'll take you out for a second.
On the live stream.
Now you're
We'll
not.
just let him have his phone call. Well,
yeah. So
that's
why I couldn't find
now.
it.
Thank you, Stephen.
So
Brought
I remember I did buy it at one time because I remember seeing it. Somebody was talking about it being like they reused the guy's name.
Yes.
In a random comic. So yeah. That's why I was like, is it Captain Marvel? No, that can't be right.
Hi,
but
Bob.
yeah, it was right.
How are you?
That falls under the heading of Stinkburger.
Hi, comic book
It was
collecting
terrible. I
class.
have 3, and they're annuals. All 3 are big ones, and I have 3 of them. I don't know if I have all of them, and I couldn't believe what I was looking. My nomadic comic friend found them. He
Right.
says, "I thought you'd like these," and they were just like $5 or $10 to get them. And I thought, well, for the screwy nature of them, disconnect, disconnect, reconnect, disconnect. And I thought of Alan. I thought, disconnect.
Okay.
So did you guys survive Canada Day?
Oh, it was wonderful. We
It was okay. Yeah, it was not bad.
That was
the-
okay.
the-
It was-
I
it was
sent you guys pictures of the fireworks. The kids were really, really, really enjoying them, and that
Did
to me
you-
is
I
Alan,
missed
you
the
and your
fireworks. I didn't
family
see
went
the
down to the
fireworks.
Parliament. You went down to the Parliament building and watched, did you not?
No.
No, what I did was we stayed on our side of the river, and we went to down to the river's edge, and we watched it from there because we could see we're right across. There's a university called the University of Quebec of the Outaouais, which is our area, and they have they have a parking lot, and in that parking lot you can see everything right across at LeBreton Flats, like with no problem. So we go there to avoid the crowd. There's still about 100 people there, but we go there to avoid the crowd.
Right
We
now
bring
there are
our
100
chairs.
people here.
No, there were 100 people at the UQO when we went there to watch the fireworks, doing the same thing we did, because trying to get across the bridge at that time of night with the road closings would be impossible. So
Yeah.
Well, then what did you do, Alan? You said you were going to go with your family and walk down to the Parliament building and watch the fireworks. What'd you end up doing? Go to Rickety Horton?
No, so we didn't go to Rickety Horton. We went to Byward Market. Matt's familiar with Byward
Yeah,
Market.
I know
they had
where
some
that-
celebrations there, and that we did
There
that
was a
during the day.
celebration there. You bought a bag of beans and a beaver tail?
We
I
didn't buy a beaver tail. Actually, I asked my
Yes,
son,
he-
does he want a beaver tail, and he didn't want one. It was weird.
Well, then it
But
was
yeah,
all worthwhile hurrying us up and shuffling me off and getting rid
No,
of me
so-
as quickly as you could so
so what
that you
happened
could go
was-
and not buy the beaver tail. Thank you very much.
So all of that actually happened before our show, and then after our show, my wife was like, "Oh, let's go over here, like some random place where she thought, oh, we can watch the fireworks from afar, right? Similar to what Matt did."
And you would
but
have
I was
been
like,
right.
this is not the right direction. We're going to be like totally looking the wrong direction. So we looked. By the time we got to the place that she said we should go, and then we realized, hey, this is not the right place. The fireworks were over.
Well,
Wow.
is,
Well,
Alan,
we heard them.
was it happy yet?
4
Perfect.
years ago, 4 years ago, what you did would have been okay, because with the
Mhm.
fireworks were actually just off and behind the Parliament Hill back then. But because they've moved them to LeBreton, they've pushed them a little further west because we could see where they're coming from, and therefore it's harder to see them downtown where you would be. Wow, that's a very nice view, Stephen.
Mhm.
I
It's also still daytime there.
it's still daytime there now, isn't it? Because it's only like 9 o'clock. You have light till at least 9:30 or 10, don't you?
But
no,
we've got a big cloud over where we're looking at a storm.
A storm.
Yeah, we've got a thunderstorm warning.
We're
Yeah,
gonna have absolutely stunningly beautiful weather for the 4th of July weekend. It's gonna be blisteringly hot up in Portland, and it'll be about 20 degrees cooler down here.
Are your
Is
your
it a
family coming up?
holiday both the 4th and 5th, or how does it work?
No, it's just the 4th. But as far as for the government, the 4th, some people have already quit for the week, and then so
They
Thursday,
should just quit for life. That would be so
Yeah.
much better for the country.
Thursday they have Thursday off, and then they usually just give them the Friday. Then they have the weekend. So then it's like a 4-day or a 5-day weekend is what
Yeah, that happens a lot with Thanksgiving too,
it
right?
falls this way. The government closes
Oh, I hear
down.
the
No
rain.
one even notices when the government closes down.
Oh, it's
Matt, I hear the
raining?
rain now.
Yeah, see, I can't hear the rain where I am, but I'll take your word for it. I can see the darkness. I've got the view of the window.
I cannot see the darkness.
But the
Oh,
darkness.
I'm
is
sorry.
coming.
You will soon.
You can't see the darkness.
And I'll
but the
bet you
darkness
your
sees you.
sunsets are going over the ocean are just beautiful.
I can see all the way up to the state of Washington, I can't see the mouth of the Columbia River because there's a spit of land that comes out. But
Right.
up that way is Fort Stevens, which was the only fort that was shelled during World War II. American fort from the state of Oregon was the only United States state that was fired upon, and it was quite a thing. My dad was down here when that happened, and he thought it was fireworks, but what it was a Japanese submarine that surfaced and was shelling at Fort Stevens, which had these retractable coast artillery guns, these huge cannon. And there was a big stink because of the commandant of the fort, did not bring the guns up and shoot and sink the submarine because he didn't know if this was a precursor to an invasion. And so he kept his guns down because this is all it is one submarine. I think they fired 18 or 19 rounds. No one got hurt. Now there was no property damage. And then the sub buttoned up and then they went away. But had there been transports, then he would have waited till they got close enough, and then all the guns would have come up, and then he would have been sinking them before they could invade. My father said that after that happened, he said that the National Guard, Camp Rylea, which is down here, then the National Guard, Camp Rylea, he said, so what they did was they brought down about 20 or 30 sandbags down to the turnaround in downtown Seaside, right at the end of the road by the beach, the turnaround, and had a couple of guys standing there smoking cigarettes with a couple of rifles, and that was going to protect us. Dad said,
I'm sure that would work well.
I'm just trying to picture rifles smoking cigarettes right now.
Oh yeah, they sat there. They'd have their O3s off to the side. This is 1941. They didn't even have M1 Garand yet.
That
so
is
they
the
had
one.
their O3 Springfields, or they had the 1917 Enfields, and they're sitting right there, model 1917s. They're cutting butts. And Dad said the one thing I knew and took great comfort in was that if they actually saw the Japanese coming, these guys would be the first ones out.
Yeah, they'd be toast. There'd be no hope.
Because there wouldn't be anything left of them, but they were actually coming here. But we had all manner of, in Astoria, we had a huge port for all the Liberty ships and all that. They staged an enormous amount of military vehicle stuff, military ships and what have you. We had an airport up here. We had a whole bunch of SBDs and TBFs and what have you that were stationed there in case there was anything that happened. But if it was full scale, I mean, I don't know. Because our fleet got wiped out at Pearl, we didn't have enough ships to cruise up and down the coast. If they had come, we wouldn't have known where they were coming. If they wanted,
I don't think the Japanese had any intention of going east. They were more focused on get all the territory to the west.
Oh yes, and they had that feint that they did when they went up to Kiska and Attu up in the Aleutians for our territory of Alaska.
Nobody cared.
Nobody cared. That fight in Attu and Kiska caused a constitutional crisis in Canada.
And how so?
Okay, conscription. People were conscripted in Canada for home defense, but not for overseas. You had to volunteer to go overseas. Now, so the vast majority of French Canadians who were conscripted stayed home. They didn't go overseas. So when they were ordered, when they were ordered to go help with the liberation of Attu and Kiska, it caused a huge stink in Quebec but the government got away with it because it was technically North American territory, therefore it was home, and therefore they could use conscripts.
So did they actually go?
The liberal government, what ended up happening, because there was such a stink, the government of Canada had promised no conscription, like no conscripts would go overseas. So they ended up having a referendum, a national referendum, to absolve the government and allow them for the conscripts to go over when the volunteer, because they'd gotten bloodied, so to speak, even though there was no real fight at Kiska and Attu.
Well, did they actually end up going up?
They
did go up, and we lost one man to the cold.
To the cold.
Yeah. Well, because the Japanese had pretty much abandoned the islands by the time we got there.
Well, that's nice.
Yeah.
We had
But,
already
but
we had
because
already dealt with them. We had already dealt with them.
yeah,
That was a feint because of Midway. They wanted us
but
to think that
because
they were
we
coming
sent
our way.
conscripts, because we
Mm.
sent conscripts to Attu and Kiska, the government had this referendum, and English Canada basically voted yes, send those bastards across the pond, and French Canada overwhelmingly voted against it, and
You said against.
that
You said
that
against.
yes, against
Don't you say
sending
against? Say
conscripts
against.
overseas. They ended up not really sending many. They sent less than 20,000 in the end, but it was the beginning of the real rift between French and English Canadians. That's
Well, I
leading to
know
it.
that I think it was Gold Beach that was the beach that was assigned to the Canadians, and
No, it
they
was Juno Beach.
Juno Beach,
Juno Beach.
and they went ashore and brave as hell. Can't you
Yeah.
guys just take a saw and cut that crap Quebec and sink it?
Now.
You said against. You say against, not against. Is that how you pronounce it?
Against.
Well, I said against because that's who I am.
Okay, well, no, it's okay. There's a guy on YouTube called Timo's Dinky Detailing, and he always says against, and he says decals, and I always give him the
It
business
is
in the chat
decals.
because I said, okay, have your decals, but I don't know any Canadian that says against, and now I have to say that I know a guy that actually says against, but you're very close to the French, I understand.
Mhm.
Okay.
But
And he
anyways, as I'm saying, like it's like
Matt,
these little
it's an affectation.
yeah.
Because he says I always said against, but then there was a guy that was talking about pure Canadian language, and he always said against. So, Bub, where do you live, Bub? Do you live in San Francisco? How are things down there?
Who is Bub?
Oregon's
Anyway?
not
Do
as
you know
bad as
Bub?
you think it is. Do you live in Oregon?
Bub's one of my subscribers.
Okay, well that's cool. I mean, I'm happy.
He's pretty
I
cool.
like you, Bub.
He goes on Biggie Shack and the church.
He's on there or he watches?
He watches. He watches there. That's where
He's a
I saw
watcher.
Bub's first.
He's a
Yeah.
watcher.
He's a stalker.
He's a
No,
watcher.
he's
He's a
hilarious, is what
He's
he
a
is.
midnight cocker.
We love you, Bub.
Yeah, we love you.
No. All right, Alan, do you want to show a couple books? Let's give the people what they're looking for.
Sure, I'll show some things. So actually, Stephen, I think you have this one, right? Darwin Cook.
Well, I did. I think I might have got the chop when I was raising money when I got my bat one.
Oh,
So
really?
that I
love
think
this
that
one.
went away. I may have to replace it. I love that cover.
Yeah,
That
it's a
and the
great cover.
Starfire,
Yeah, I have both. So yeah, I really like those.
of course.
And I know you have this one, but you have it in much higher grade. The Turok.
That's
do. It's a great
such a
book.
nice book.
Yeah.
That's a great.
I particularly like
Got
too
some
when the
dinosaurs
Turok
on it.
went the gold key. When
So, yeah.
Well, it was good. The Gold Key was good too. It was still Western Publishing. They Alan went through all this when Gold Key relinquished to when Western Dell relinquished to Gold Key, but they kept on going.
There's a comment here you should try to read, Alan. It says, I know Steppo on IG for years. I've been on streams with Alan before, but he never remembers.
Where do you live, Bub?
Oh, he's been with probably Biggie or one of those ones, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I remember. I see him on Biggie. I go on Biggie about once a week, and since I've started, and Bub's usually there.
By the way, you showed G.I. Joe, so here's another G.I. Joe.
That's a good one.
That's the Alpha. Do you have the Omega?
The Alpha and the Mega? What to me? Which
do you have the last issue of G.I. Joe? That's a tough book.
Oh yeah. No, I
don't.
It's
very low printed, like the Star Wars one. It's very low print run.
I got this after the price really dropped. So I was like, oh, I'll pick it up.
Well, since G.I. Joe came back,
I had like a really rough copy before, but
I have 4. I have number 1. I have 2 of the silent issue, and then I have the last issue. I have 4, but they're all raw.
I have a few like just some of the keys. I'm not a big G.I. Joe fan, tell you the truth. The The
Fair
only
enough,
reason I
Bub.
the only reason I wanted to
Thank you.
get GI Joe was there was that South Park movie, America,
Yeah.
so
Team
Blame
America?
Canada. Blame Canada.
yeah.
Well, I was,
And we got
or are
those-
you thinking the Team America movie where they, made fun of Kim Jong Il? Or
Yeah, that was awesome. It was,
that
they
was
were all done with
hilarious.
puppets. It was cute. So yeah, this is the second Flash race.
That's a great one.
Again, I think it
The
ends in
second
this.
Superman Flash race.
Yeah.
Superman was the first, and it had Alfred was the start. Had the starting gun.
Yes.
Yep.
And then there's even a third race, right, where they actually have
There's a
it where
fourth.
Flash wins.
Yeah. Hmm.
Flash, it's a tie, and then
But there's a fourth too. I think in World's
I
Finest.
have
even-
this. I
Yeah.
have this book
Yeah.
too, but this is a poster I've gotten. It's signed by Jim Shooter, who wrote the
Cool.
story. This
Very
is the
nice.
first one.
And you see Alfred down on the far left
That's
side,
right.
other
Yeah.
side.
yeah,
Yeah.
There's That's Alfred.
yeah.
This is
And
where
then
I
on
always
the
found it
fourth,
weird.
it's what's his name? Quick pickle dude.
Mixius Pitalik.
Mitsapitalik
Pitalik?
is on the
Yeah.
fourth race. Fourth.
Yes.
Okay.
I always find it interesting that Batman is supposedly Superman's best friend, and he's like, "Go Flash!"
I know he's such a jerk.
Yeah, Batman's a turncoat.
Yeah. So yeah. So I don't know. Those are
I
some
really
of the-
think
What's
that
also interesting about that book is that this book was done in 1967, 3 years after the oval was added, and Infantino twice forgot to put the yellow oval. Infantino was drawing Batman, for God's sake, and twice he put the old logo in the book.
Oh, the old logo on Batman, or
Yes, the one without the yellow circle, and Infantino was the one who drew it in the first place.
I think
What issue was the first with the new look, Matt?
I haven't.
327, Detective 327,
I thought
which
it was
was an
326.
Infantino book.
I
What?
thought it was 326.
Nope, 327.
You sure?
Yep, I'm 100% sure on that one because that's the one.
Steven's
That
gotta look it up.
elongated
Look it up.
man
Somebody
came in.
look it up.
That was the one Carmine Infantino started on. The elongated man started the backups that issue. 326 was the last detective issue with the old logo.
It's on
And
the
was
cover.
that Sheldon Moldoff that did that? Was that Sheldon Moldoff that did
Yeah, he
326?
did the old. Yeah, he did the old. Infantino's first book was 327. He was assigned it and told, "You've got 6 months, or Batman's going to be canceled. You got 6 months to improve the sales."
Hmm.
So I forgot there was some reason why I think they had to make it more like just make it different by having that extra oval. Was that the whole idea behind the?
Well, it was the new look because they wanted to get away from the idea of the new look was to get away from the campy bad sci-fi based stuff like the zebra stories and the
Well, that's when Julius Schwartz took
Yeah.
over, and then
Julie
he killed
Schwartz took
Batmite,
over.
he killed Bathound, he killed Batgirl, and he killed Batwoman. One fell swoop, chop, and they were gone.
Julius Schwartz was given the job of of fixing Batman, and they were told you've got 6 months to improve the sales or they're gone, because at the time Detective was still selling sort of okay because it wasn't just a Batman book, but Batman itself was the second lowest selling book at DC.
Oh, okay.
The books that were there before the new look, I remember when it came out, I was collecting Batman right straight along.
Yeah.
I love the old Batman, and when the new logo came out, and I was so used to Infantino with Flash, I had a hard time accepting Batman as drawn by Infantino because it just wasn't. It didn't look the same to me. I liked the older style of Batman. I always did as a kid, and
Mhm.
I warmed up to the new look, but I preferred the older look to it by far. Even though the
I
same,
would agree.
I liked it.
I love Infantino's style for he did well on Star Wars, he did great on the Flash, but
Flash.
I didn't like it so much. Where's that echo coming from?
I think it's on yours. It's only when you're talking that I hear it.
Yeah.
It's weird because it wasn't there.
Do you have any other apps open?
No, I literally got this one open.
Mute. Okay. How
I
about we
have
do?
just one. I have one app. I have just one app open. That's it.
Okay. Mute. Each of us mute ourselves, and then we try it.
Great.
So yeah. So now we try talking. Sounds fine.
Hello.
1, 2, 3.
So Matt, when you muted yourself, it sounded fine.
Oh, great. I'm sorry. I don't know
You're
how
like the
this,
host.
I don't know where this is coming from because this microphone has been fine since I bought it. Like this camera / microphone has been.
Do you have
Oh,
another
it's
app
so
open
gone
or
now.
something? Or
What? Sorry?
Do you have any
another
other app
open?
open?
No, I have nothing else going, so I don't know where this is coming
Do
from.
you have your cell phone on the app?
Let me double check this. Nope, nothing's on.
Yeah, actually, I don't know. I think I prefer the Golden Age Batman style.
Well, I always did. I accepted it, but for me, Infantino won my heart with Flash. The Flash, right away when I found out, I really, really liked it.
So, by the way, it's cool as a guest. I can read the chat. I now have the options. That's new, I think, where you get to see the chat. I've never seen the chat before.
See, now you talked and there was the background echo.
Oh, really? Wait.
Yes. Okay, everybody, how are you? And now I have the echo.
See, it's not my fault. You're doing an Alan. You're blaming other people, but it's
No, I'm not. I'm just wondering.
I think it's Champ. I think it's Champ. He is, that devious little doggy, and it's all his fault.
Hi, Brooklyn.
He wants to join the show so much. He's like Lucy. Can I be in the show? No, Lucy, you cannot be in the show. Roof.
Yeah.
I don't understand. I'm at a loss here.
Oh well. It happens.
Well, it's all right. You'll hammer it out. Put a penny behind the fuse. That's the way it always works for me.
Because I don't have this background echo on the other when I go on your show, do I?
Didn't really notice it. No.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Matt.
That's fine. It's my first one. This is what I'm saying. I'm running out the kinks.
Yeah.
Darling, you gotta let me know.
The kinks.
The kinks. Anyway.
Yes.
See, it's my show. I get to be the silly one this time. Anyway. Yes, I'm glad to see you there, Brooklyn. Happy pre-4th of July, as you said. They're here.
This is the pre-4th of July show.
Well, apparently it sounds fine on
4th of July Eve. Is that a thing?
4th of July Eve, and we'll probably get fireworks tonight too, because everybody's so sweaty to do it. So when it gets dark around 9:45 to 10, they'll probably some of the fancy store-bought stuff. People will spend $1,000, $2,000 going up into the state of Washington or the Indian reservations, where that stuff is going on. But the state of Oregon doesn't let you. Anything that can fly and explode is nix. All you can have is fountains and snakes and crap like that, which is absolutely no fun at all. But
it's not as loud. I know what's going on. I know what's going on now. I figured it out.
Okay, what's going on?
What is it?
It's worse when I talk, but when anybody talks right now, it seems that it's echoing somehow off of something in Steven's, and Steven's microphone is picking it up as a little loop because it's that slight delay of the sound. And I'm saying this because no, it's nobody's fault. It's because we did not have this at all until you came, and I've noticed it. But I'm seeing your room, and there's some smooth walls behind you, so we could have some sound bounce off. It's just a nodal effect. These are things I noticed like musician days.
Okay, so you're gonna move. He's moving. You've made him move. Oh, you're kicking him out of the house.
I'm not kicking him out of the house.
Oh my goodness, you've kicked him out of his own house.
No.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, no, it's still there. Okay, maybe that's not it then.
I'm in a room with carpeting. I'm in a room with carpeting now. It's wall-to-wall carpeting. Sound
way
deck.
more.
Still working. Okay, it's still happening. Jeez.
Actually, mute Steven. Mute yourself, Steven. Yeah, blame Steven. I agree with JSS.
Well, let's see. No, okay, with him
No,
muted.
no,
still
no. He's
working.
not muted. He's not muted. Mute yourself. Now talk, Matt.
And how are you?
It is Steven. It's all Steven's fault.
Gentlemen, I wish
not
you
your fault.
a happy pre-4th. Enjoy your live stream. I wanted to come and say hi. I don't want to be an echo.
You don't have to
And,
leave at all.
This will prove. This will. Now I'm gonna pout and I'm gonna go away. And I'll never dampen your.
We've upset the Steven. We've upset the Steven. I feel so
And
sad.
it was on. And it was like on the.
I don't believe I
too.
upset Alan. I think Alan is welcoming the change, which is of course that's fine.
So this is like his worst pre-4th of July ever.
Oh no, I've had many worse than this. I can tell you. If this is all my problems, I'm a happy man.
Okay, cool.
I
I'm
saw
sorry
a
that the
meme
Canadian connection, because I'm on my laptop, not my regular computer. So
I saw a meme on Instagram today that says Happy July 4th Eve. Remember to put cookies out for Captain America.
Cool.
yes,
That's a cool one. I like that.
I was actually going to send it to you guys, but I noticed it about 2 minutes before we started. So
Yeah, so that's
and
I know.
at least well, since it's only a few people, at least folks know Steven retired to Waterfront.
Mm.
Is this issue 1 live stream or issue 0.5? It's kind of like Zach. I have a big, well, not a big one, but in a couple weeks' time, I have a scheduled debate coming on. Alan's going to be one of the guests, and we're going to have Nate from Hollywood Comics and Hagen from Lettuce Comics coming on, and the 4 of us are going to debate a topic. The topic we're going to debate then is crossovers, as in like these summer crossovers, where you have to buy like 60 books to carry on, because DC is about to go into one where there's 45 books you have to buy to have the whole story. And Spider-Man did one requiring 60 books in the springtime.
I don't usually bother reading those because I don't have it's for it.
You know, and I personally think it's ridiculous, but some people think it's great. And so I wanted to have a discussion about it, and we're going to show books related to crossover events or over the years. Like for example, you get Superman and Spider-Man, or Superman Muhammad Ali. Those are all technically crossovers because you've got an Earth Prime crossover with Superman, as they call it, with Ali and stuff like that. So I just think it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be for a couple weeks from now, so I just wanted to test out, see any potential problems before we did that one.
Okay. So I think so as long as you don't invite Steven, you should be okay.
Well, I just think it's the equipment he's using. He's not in his regular place.
Are you making fun of my equipment again?
Yeah,
No.
it's his equipment.
Put your sweet lips
His equipment
a
is
little
inadequate.
closer to the phone. Let's
Apparently,
pretend that
apparently
we're
we're not hearing the echo as much.
alone.
And now it's like, let's see some books. All right. Well, I will put I will do some books then.
Okay, show some books.
All right. Back to the Fantastic Four I was showing a little bit earlier. Here is Fantastic Four 266. It's a really nice burn cover. I've always liked the red background on comic books. I've always thought that they're great. And I particularly like this angle of the Invisible Woman.
Mm.
And here we have a very stretched out, a very, 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 very stretched out Mr. Fantastic. Apparently they're fighting someone called the Octopus. This is Fantastic Four 267. They fought. Oh, I guess that means they found Mr. Fantastic when he went missing a few issues before. And here's another cover I really like. It's another Doctor Doom cover.
Cool.
Okay, this one is 268. This one is a newsstand just before the price was risen in Canada. At this time, the price was the same as the American because the American dollar and Canada at the time were par. Okay, I'm just gonna do a couple things in the chat here. We got a couple new people. Hi, Rick. Give you more Legion. Well, we'll see about the next one. Comic Book Collecting Quest says yes, more Reeves. And we've got a ha 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 from the Comic Book Collecting Quest guy. All right. Here we have an interesting. I like this look, even though it's Marvel. This cover makes me think of Kemmel from DC because of the shape of the creature that's coming down. But I think again, like this is we're getting close to the end of the burn run for Fantastic Four here, and he was still doing such amazing covers that I was here's Fantastic Four 270, very similar to another red cover I've been showing recently. And here we go with Fantastic Four 271, which I think is either the second last or the last burn cover. Another big monster, another big Kirby-esque monster on the thing. I actually find Byrne his style is very similar to Kirby's. You can tell where the influence was. All right. Steven, I'm guessing you didn't bring any books with you, eh?
I actually have brought a few books down.
Right, for tomorrow.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
have a show. I have a show that I'm going to be doing with Alan Pullett on Friday, prior to you guys going and competing with Mr. Biggie Shack on the Comic Collector Club. But I will go and I will get a book to show.
Right, I have some I can show actually if you want.
Okay, Rick is asking me about my numbering system. Okay, here's what I do with my boxes.
Oh, you have your crazy boxes.
Yeah. I put my boxes in numerical order, okay? And I put the books in alphabetical order by Overstreet. So I ignore the does and I ignore the ahs. I follow the Overstreet thing. And what happens is when I get two boxes that are too full, I will put a half box. Like here, I put an 8.5 on a box and use and split and use that to fill in the things like that. It's kind of my own Dewey Decimal System, but I keep everything on an Excel sheet that tells me approximately what's in what box. Like for example, Action Comics is box 1 to 6, but there is a 1.1.5, like for example. So basically my Action Comics is 7 boxes, and then the next thing, if it's adventure, for example, say boxes 7 to 9 or whatever the case may be. That's how I do it, and I find that it keeps me 95% accurate on where I can find my books. Alan, go ahead and show some books because we're gonna have to end shortly. I've got
and let Steven show one as well.
Yeah. If Steven wants to show, we'll put him first.
All right. One of my absolute favorite fight comics, which was one of the very first Loon copy book that I bought from Dave Alexander, who I met when we became Immortals back in 1995 for the Overstreet Price Guide. Hi, Great Legend. And what I did was, do you like this salmon lamp behind me? Do you see the lamp?
Yeah, it's salmon.
All the kitsch all of the kitsch that was in the house when we bought it. I said, I got to have all that stuff. So all the stuff that had been collected from the 50s on up that is on the walls and what have you, we've modified it a little bit. We've added some stuff, but fun stuff. But one of my favorite books that I wrote about in Rare as Hen's Teeth, Golden Age Greats, that I wrote for the Comic Book Marketplace, was a Fiction House book called Fight 35. And that is one of my favorite covers. I had a couple copies. I had the Rockford copy, and the Loon copy I sold to a guy because he was so sweaty, and I had the Rockford and I had another. And then I bought, at the time, the highest graded copy of Fight 35, I think, until the Promise collection came in and what have you. But the guy that I bought this from, remembered the issue when I talked about it, and then he ended up going out and finding it, and he bought the book because of me. And then when it came time when he was selling it, it just happened to come to me, and he was so happy that it ended up with me. But here's the book. Here, I'm gonna take it out of the bag.
Yeah, you can't see it at all. That's one of my favorite covers, by the way.
Mine too.
Yes, that's very beautiful.
And this, I'll show it again on Friday, but you'll see that the Japanese soldier, the leering Japanese soldiers, are coming in under the lanai, and the Betty Page gal, who is sans top, all she has is a little flowered lei and a grass skirt to cover her trademark. And the two guys that are back there, the aviators from the plane that crashed just across from the lagoon. She was just getting some water for them, and she was feeding them and whatever she was doing with them in the lanai. And he is coming up very rapidly with a Thompson, and he's going to solve the problem of those Japanese guys like right now. But this is a Fight 35. This has off-white pages. It is from December of 1944. And it features a Joe Doolin cover, and it's noted topless woman cover. And for 1944, that is really quite
a big deal. Big deal.
Yeah, that they just didn't do that. So, but this is one of my favorites. But it's a World War II cover, and I said, what is more American on the 4th of July than a topless native Betty Page gal providing refreshment and entertainment for two American servicemen who have had a little trouble with their plane? What could be more American than that? So there it is.
Awesome. What a beautiful book.
So on Friday, I'm going to show you my copy of that. I think mine actually might have better colors than yours.
Really?
Yeah. Friday, I'm going to miss the show.
Mine is like really bright orange.
One of my best friends, one of my best friends had his birthday this week, so we're going to go hang out for a little bit. So
That'll be fun.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that too. I mean, I love the comic stream too. Don't get me wrong. Anything comic related is the beautiful, beautiful, beautiful thing. Alan, let's have you show a couple books, and then we'll sort of wrap up.
So I was showing the Flash race ones, right? So I showed the first Flash. I believe this is the first Flash race.
That is probably one of my favorite books I own. Mine is only a 1.5, and it's raw, but I don't care.
Yeah, this is sort of a mid-grade one. I think you probably have like a 9.8 of that, don't you, Stephen?
I have a very, very lovely raw copy. I don't have a slab of that book. It's a great book, though.
Yeah, I showed the second Flash race. This is the third Flash race.
Yeah, World's Finest. Yeah.
Yes, that's one I'm looking for.
This is the one where Flash actually wins. Finally.
Yeah.
I think that he should be able to go faster than Superman. It's the only problem he has. He can vibrate his molecules through stuff and what have you. I think it's great.
Yeah.
Here's where I get confused, okay?
Yeah.
If you think about this. Why can Superman have no problem going through the time barrier, but Barry Allen needs the speed, the
Cosmic treadmill.
the cosmic treadmill.
Cosmic treadmill, yeah.
Considering that Barry is faster than Superman, so to speak.
They use the cosmic treadmill so that he doesn't have to run around the world. And he did that many times, where he would run faster and faster around the world,
Okay.
and then slow time and then back time up. And he's done that too.
Yeah.
The cosmic treadmill was done so he wouldn't have to run around the world. All he had to do was just to hop on the treadmill and go.
Yeah, it just gets
Okay.
them up to speed.
Yeah, I haven't read a lot of early Flash, so I was curious about that.
But this is the fourth race, and has, as I said,
Yeah.
what's his name?
Mix
Metzapleco.
Yes
Mix-
Piddle Ick. Say it. Mix Yes Piddle Ick.
Mix Yes.
Mix Yes Piddle Ick.
Mix Yes Piddle Ick. Okay.
That's it. Mix Yes Piddle Ick.
Okay, still not gonna say it. But
And
okay.
there's a fifth race, I believe, in the Wally West Flash.
Oh really?
Yes.
And then in the
I
same
have that one.
box, I have this Richard Corbin cover,
Very
Base-
nice.
basically strange.
Mm.
This is Den. I'm not sure if you're familiar with this.
I could never figure out what Den's purpose was. He just sort of hanging around naked, wandering around looking at
It
stuff.
doesn't really have much purpose.
I really could never figure out what he
Yeah.
was trying to do.
You know, I've read most of the Den books, and I really don't know his purpose is either. He's just a strong guy. That's basically it. Just walks around. And he's
Awesome.
yeah, I don't really know. And then we got Barbarella again. Some more Barbarella.
Oh, I love that Barbarella.
This is the one from Heavy Metal.
Yes.
That's a cool thing on the back.
You
I'm
know,
not sure
as I've said many times, heavy metal is very underrated on the North American side. They've got their hardcore supporters, but
yeah. And
It's
then
not really appreciated on the American side.
no, I mean it's a European magazine, right? So
it's French, yeah.
really,
Yeah.
it's really huge in Europe, but I still
Yeah,
think
Killer
it's got
Frost.
some room to grow here in North America.
Well, I remember
Actually-
when it came out with that beautiful robot cover. I have like the first 25 issues of it. I found benefit to it. I like the Mobius. Pretty much
Yeah.
was my favorite. Really, was Mobius because I really
Mhm.
enjoyed the blandishment that he had. Really cool. There's the
Mobius
book. Didn't help you
Frost.
very much, Alan.
It didn't help me in the challenge. I actually think this was better in terms of the theme of the challenge because it's nuclear winter. You just showed the nuclear. This is like nuclear winter. I thought it was a better actual,
That's
not
true.
maybe not a better cover or cooler book or more expensive book,
Killer
but-
Frost was so
but
awesome.
more relevant to the actual theme because it's got the winter and the nuclear. That would be my only thing to say about that.
Montreal Comic Con is this weekend, and the girl who played her on the Flash is going to the Comic Con as one of the guests. And it's
Ooh,
Oh.
which one?
the one that
Well,
played,
they played Killer
Frost on Flash there, Daniel Panabaker.
So why did they cancel the Flash?
Well, Grant Gustin was done.
Oh, really? I
He
thought
needed
the
a-
show did.
He needed a
reasonably
break. It was those shows were very physical for the actors.
well. Okay.
You know, Melissa Benoist had to go from the skirt because she was always getting cold in Vancouver. So that's why they put her in the pantsuit.
Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah.
But yeah,
And then
I
she
don't know.
got pregnant, and she didn't. So that show was going to be over. I mean, plus the quality was going down. Here's that one again.
Here, wait, actually, Matt, I'm going to get you to do something. You're better than me in French. Okay, you're going to translate. Can you translate this?
Probably. Let me make
Let's
it
see.
big on my screen here like this. Okay. Live an exemplary Christian life, but in French Canadian that would be Catholic.
Yeah.
Chercher à connaître exactement le but. Understand and know exactly the goal of the communists and their calls to action. Étudier davantage des problèmes politiques de notre pays.
Understand the politics.
Study our
Study our
public
politics. Yeah.
but in this case, it would be public problems of our country.
Okay.
De notre pays means of our country. And exercer une action sociale sincère, being sincere. Okay, use proper. I can't see the middle word. That's the thing.
Action. Exercer une action social sincère.
Okay, so basically get along with people. Get along with people.
Okay. And number 5?
Number 5, understand understand the Christian use of our rights as Canadians. Meaning, do unto others what they want done to you.
Yeah.
That's 6. That wasn't 5. What's 5? User de notre droit de vote.
Droit is rights.
Droit means rights. In this circumstance, well, droit means right no matter what, whether it's right hand or.
But this is rights, like
your political rights.
What's it say? Tu genet et vieux. What's that? What's at the bottom?
Right there.
All young and old.
Young and old, yeah.
Vieux means old. Jeune means young.
Young, yeah.
What's the rest of it say?
But two is like us, like us.
The two means everybody.
Yeah.
Okay.
What's underneath that?
Well, let me take a look here. We have a big responsibility to defend God, our families, and our nation. Gardons notre pays live. Guard our free country. Le Canada d'abord. All aboard Canada.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thank you, Matt.
No problem.
So yeah, that's it. That's all she wrote.
Well, okay. So, Alan, one more time, since we have a few more viewers, tell us quickly about your Kickstarter before we head out.
Yeah, it's called The Vixens of the Golden Age. You can check it out on Kickstarter, or you can go to my channel, and pretty much any of the videos recently will have the link to it if you need the link. And yeah, it's basically showcasing the various Golden Age characters, female characters like Lady Luck, Miss Mask, Pantha, Princess Pantha.
We haven't seen her yet.
What? Lady?
We haven't seen Princess Pantha yet.
Yeah, I'm waiting on that one. It's supposed to be any day now, but the artwork isn't finished on that one. So it's supposed to be done, but it actually, hoping soon on that one. And then Miss Mask, Sunny, Judy of the Jungle. Like a whole bunch of characters. Oh, thank you, Matt. So that's the link. That's the link to my Kickstarter. You can check it out. Some really great art. Some really great artists like Larry Wells,
Dan Yeagle,
and what's his name? Patrick Finch. Who else? There's Bill Maas. A whole bunch of great artists. So yeah. And all the prose is written by me about the origin stories of each of the characters. And I talk about how to what are the key issues for each character. So you get all that in one comic, and for a low price of your firstborn child.
Miss Spear and Black Cat. I mean, good stuff.
Yeah, it's great stuff. It is
Rula.
great stuff. So,
Rula,
if you like sexy women, you'll like the comic. Basically.
And if you like sexy women, once we get to 222 subscribers, we're halfway there, people. Thank you for your patronage. Thank you for watching the channel. I really appreciate it. We will have this as a reward, as well as a t-shirt donated by the Comic Collector Geek, Alan himself.
And we'll sign the t-shirt. Won't you sign the t-shirt, Alan?
Do you want me to sign the t-shirt? I don't know if people want
I thought it was a signed photo we were going for. And also, as I've said before, if you have gone on the Kickstarter, I have a Silver Age book at the grand worth $38 American. that will also be given away as a prize once we get to get there. We're halfway there. Please like, subscribe, comment, tell your friends if you like it, at least to give it a try. The more the merrier. I like talking comics. I like showing comics. I like seeing comics. I'm subscribed to a lot of channels out there. I'm at 50, and yes, I do keep up top of them all. And I hope that everybody here had a wonderful time. I thank you, Stephen, for showing up. I thank you, Alan, for showing up
Thank you.
to my inaugural show. And we're thinking of you, Ashley. And I'm going to say that I appreciate everybody's efforts, and thanks for those that showed up tonight, commented, and participated, and those that just listened. I hope you enjoyed yourselves. And everybody, my name's Matt. I like comics, and I hope you do too. Bye, everybody.